To Project Die Hard Mission Monday update. My name is Sue Roscoff, and I am an ambassador here with Project Die Hard. And we do come on every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. Central to give all those updates, all the latest and greatest, all the things that are happening in the world of Project Die Hard. And who better to do that for us here tonight than our founder and president, who's got a little special thing going on today. I don't know if he wants me to say this, but I'm gonna anyway. Happy birthday, Brian. Welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing.
And it's your birthday.
Yeah, it's my birthday. Yep, this is the day my mother spat me out.
So I'm going to say on behalf of all of us here with Project Die Hard, we wish you the best, the greatest, the most wonderful happy birthday wishes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, but like all my friends, so where were you born? I went Traverse City, Michigan. They go, so you're a Yankee? No. I had no input on where I was born. I don't know anybody that had input on that. Right?
Mm-hmm. That's just where it was.
Yep. Not my fault. All right, but yeah, really good week. We're gonna change up some things today because things have been moving, and it's been about 2 months since I've done this, but I really gotta dive into some things. So here we go. I know, Sue, you've just learned of this little acronym today.
I did.
To all my veterans out there, we know what this is, right? The bluff. Bottom line up front. Okay, folks, bottom line. These are my rules. All right. Who's that?
So we do have somebody joining us tonight. I wasn't sure if it was going to be happening or not, but she is going to be able to be on and talking about an event that is coming up soon. So we'll bring her in just a little bit.
Okay, let me finish this.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. We are based on Romans 15:13. That's it. When I say God will never leave the mission, okay? You know, you've all met Chaplain Dave last month, and he's been on board, and we've been talking. Well, look, we're backed up here. Exodus 23. You shall have no other gods before me. Plain and simple. And now we go to why I won't quit. Luke 137. For with God nothing will be impossible. Don't tell me this won't happen, because I know it will. The suffering of veterans will not be used for profit. Colossians 3:17. And whatever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. And then we go to what Jesus said. And if you lend those from whom you hope to receive back, what credit is that to you? For even sinners lend to sinners to receive as much back. And then no drugs or alcohol. One person's esteems one day above another. Another esteems every day alike. Let each be fulfilling connected in their own mind. And do not lead us into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Those are my standards. If you can work within those standards, then join the team. We are a faith-based, scripture-led venture nonprofit. We use what we got, and we're bringing back what a nonprofit is supposed to be. A nonprofit. All right, you saw these out today. It's Mission Monday. Only the best will do for those we serve. These companies, ministries, resource partners, everything I'm going to talk about, they have proven they care about veterans. On that, do your best to support these people, because the more you support them, the more they can do for us. And then the more we can do for my brothers and sisters. Again, our 4 things: ministry partners, resource partners, mission suppliers, facility suppliers. These are all ways you can help. These people have already stepped up. If you freeze this, blow up the pictures, you'll see veteran owned on some of them. We would much rather prefer to work with veterans to supply our facilities. Why? Because veterans helping veterans. Our upcoming events: the IHOP breakfast. All right, our fellowship breakfast is November 6th here in Paducah. We are still seeking a corporate sponsor for 2025. We know somewhere out there is that person. That's why we ask, share the mission, let them know. And then the big one, our ministry partner, Woodlawn Church, is hosting our mission, inviting pastors from all over to come and learn about our mission. This is such a blessing, I can't describe it. As of yesterday at church, if my memory serves me right, we got 20 pastors already reserved.
That's huge.
Again, everybody goes, well, what do you expect out of it? Whatever God wants. I'm just there spreading the mission. This is what it takes. Right there. Those are the patrons we have right now. To cover the current operating cost, we need 97 more. And we know they're out there. We know it. That's why we ask, share this mission. Tell people you found a nonprofit that's doing it right. It's worth the investment. But we do have to welcome veterans serving veterans and their caretakers. They have hopped on board as a resource partner. And the United Strategic Alliance, right? Standing strong together. They've hopped on as a resource partner. Okay? They're bringing their programs to our facilities. But we got to get the first facility done. What will it take to make this happen? To complete forward operating base rush, build Fort Hope, and then put one of these facilities in every state. What will it take? We have the land. God gave the plan. And as you've seen, the team is ready to go. Are you going to pray for us? Are you going to share our mission? Are you going to volunteer? Are you going to become a patron? Whatever you do is helping. Every little bit. You want to join our team? Volunteer at projectdiehard.org. That's the way you start. I'll plug you in somewhere. Well, I won't personally, but the team will. You will be fulfilled when you step up onto this team, because you know you're going to be bringing hope to veterans and saving lives. Well, that ended the slide deck. I think it's pretty bluff up front, right?
It is. So again, that acronym means so much. Now I understand what you're talking about when you say that, and I appreciate that. But that's the way it should be. We give that information right up front so that people know what the organization is. What are we doing? Why are we here? That's it. We are out to share mission.
That's the key, folks. I don't talk just to talk. Okay. Somebody even at church, every time you speak, you find a way to bring up the mission. Yeah. Why? Because it's needed. And I need help.
One person cannot do it all.
Susan needs help. All right. This is just how it works. Chaplain Dave is working hard to get in here. He was down for 21 days down in the hurricane zone, and he just got back the other day, and technology is just not liking him tonight. But I understand you have somebody you want to bring in.
I do. And actually, I'm just texting here with Dave. I will send him the link to his Gmail account and we'll get him in here. But before I do that, let me go ahead and introduce our guest so she can have a chance to talk to us while I am doing that. So I am so pleased to be bringing in Darlene to speak with us tonight. She is honestly, I have not had the pleasure of having a conversation directly with her yet, but I know she and Kurt have connected a lot in the recent days here. She's with an organization called People for a New America. And I think you're going to like what you hear. She has a lot of good things going on. I know I see that look on your face. That's kind of where I was. I'm like, let's bring Darlene in.
Hold on, Darlene, I'll welcome you, but understand, we don't play politics here. We don't do politics, because I didn't defend a Republican or a Democrat. I defended the nation. All right. As long as we got that straight.
And that is fair. And she has a lot of military in her family as well. So I think this is going to be a fun conversation. So Darlene, come on in. Welcome. If you could go ahead and give us a little more introduction to who you are and what the organization is all about. And I know there's a big event coming up this weekend.
Absolutely, there is. And so first of all, thank you very much for inviting me, kind of sight unseen. I would like to say I'm very grateful to be able to get this message out. I'm just a servant of the Lord, really. I have a health and wellness ministry that I've had since 1987. And I was minding my own business, doing my thing here in Atlanta. And I stumbled upon this group during COVID. And it really planted a seed in my heart. And since then, since 2020, I've developed a strong friendship and respect for the founder of this group, People for a New America. And like you, I was like, I'm tired of the political stuff, really, people. And it's a non-political group that it's run by a rock star. Okay. So 35 years ago, he got a message from God in the middle of the night, and he wrote a rock opera that is honest. A couple months ago, I couldn't believe it. It was like watching everything that's happening in the world right now. And 35 years ago, nobody was talking about that except for maybe Hal Lindsey, right? So it really got my attention that he had this vision to create what he calls the solution revolution. Let's all stop complaining about the problems. Let's create the world we want to live in. Let's find the solutions to the most pressing problems. And that would be, food insecurity, food sovereignty, homeless veterans, child trafficking, a better healthcare, a true healthcare system, and on and on and on. Alternatives to education, especially the way education is right now. It's like an indoctrination camp, it seems like. So whether it's homeschool or alternatives to school, you want to learn to be an entrepreneur, you want to be a pilot, you want to be a musician, you want to have a ministry, whatever that is, alternatives. And so he created this organization that on one of the aspects of it is they're creating FANA. So PFANA, People for a New America, stands for FANA. And they created FANA University, where they're going to offer these courses. And they're not trying to reinvent the wheel. They're offering this space for people who already have a course in this area to come and promote themselves. So he's kind of like an umbrella of all these nonprofits doing something good to change the world and to create a solution. So even if the numbers vary, but if it's 3% or 20% of the world that's interested in banging it out and having arguments about everything, the other 80% of us can go on and create the world that we want. And so a conversation about the mental health and the status of young people came up. And we started, all of us as a group started having a conversation. What would that look like? What's missing? I mean, there's a lot missing. God's missing, for one. But what if in rock star fashion, he's like, well, music is very healing. We should have a music festival and promote healing, at least a place to start, through the arts and music. And from there, how could this help the children? How could this help the veterans? How could this help communities? How could this help everyone? And he says, but there can be no politics. We don't care if you're right wing, left wing, no wings. We don't care. Set all that aside. And like when I was a kid, people could disagree and they could still be friends. And now, I don't know, the media has done a really deep dive in really trying to get us all to fight about Black against white, vaxxed against unvaxxed, Republican against Democrat. You just fill in the blanks. It's like the Mad Libs of 2024. So this music festival got launched. The plan for it, we felt like we were building an ark. We're like, we don't know how the permits wouldn't come in, approvals weren't coming in, but we knew the date. It had to happen before the election. And we knew that it was to bring people together, all cultures, all races, all religions, to promote peace, unity, and freedom, and set aside your differences and just remember what it's like to love your neighbor. Because I guarantee you right now, my friends in Western North Carolina, everybody's helping everybody. And nobody cares who you're voting for. Nobody cares what your pronoun is. They're just accepting help. And so hopefully he's going to be filming the beginnings of a documentary with this called The Birth of a Movement. And it's really about getting back to what matters and filtering out all the noise. And so it's a headliner review. It's famous bands, all genres. There's Latina music, there's rock music, there's the Native American Jimi Hendrix, who'll be playing all his stuff. There's a prayer circle. So as a Christian, when we're bringing together all religions, but that's really, Jesus played in the fields with everyone. And how else is anybody going to hear the message that you have if you isolate yourself to the church, right? So bringing together all people and having a very interesting opening prayer circle that will include the Apache dancers and a full gospel choir. And I mean, the vision they have for this thing is really fantastic. So that is this Saturday. It is all day. It is alcohol free. It is family friendly, and it is free to attend, and will be live streamed globally across the world. These are rock stars. They have access to all this kind of stuff. So while it's being live streamed, they are still looking for sponsors, and what they get for that is they also get their time, their ad digitally broadcast to a whole world of people that they would have never had access to before. And the sponsorships are reasonable, and every dollar helps. And so that's what we're doing. I still need to fly out there this weekend to go help with that, but I'm on a mission to really get the word out. And so I really thank you for bringing me here. And
Again, we believe here teamwork makes the dream work.
yeah,
Okay. I'm not going to lie to you. I get offers emailed to me all the time about, "Ooh, can you help sponsor this or that?" Right? Well, I'll be honest with you. I have trouble keeping the electric on our first facility because there's 40,000 veteran nonprofits, and the 5 big ones give us all a bad name.
right. I
Okay.
understand completely. Yeah.
Now, when you talk about music, well, that leads me into Hopestock 2025, our annual event where we
Okay.
bring veteran organizations together, veteran musicians, Christian musicians, and we celebrate the mission success. We celebrate everything the volunteers have done, and it's Hopestock. We deliver hope. On our last one, we had 6 veterans come to Christ and 2 veteran marriages saved.
That's
I
fabulous.
think I think we had a pretty good event. Now, according to my bean counters, not so much.
Well, God makes a way where there is no way, and we don't know what that will build into in the future. We just put one foot in front of the other, and we do what we're told. Like I said, I felt like we were building an ark. People were like, "Why are you doing that?" And we just knew we had to do it. And when God
Well,
says do it, you do it, right?
now, where is this event being held?
This is in Woodland Hills, California, and right outside of Los Angeles, Topanga Canyon area. And it is at a local park called Warner Center Park. And when they've had concerts there before, it's held up to 40,000 people. So, the fact that it isn't going to cost anybody a penny to attend and is family friendly, we're hoping that it'll have a really great turnout because people are looking for something right now. And there's a lot of people that won't step foot in church yet, but they'll go to something like that. So.
Oh, yeah, of course. What's this? Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Now wait a minute. I've seen this come across my email.
Well, maybe from Kurt.
No. This was from somebody unsolicited.
Well,
See, I was assuming it was from Kurt because that's where I learned about
it
this.
wasn't me because I didn't have your information. It wasn't me.
Well,
But,
I am tagged into everywhere. I've been doing this since 2018. So people shoot me stuff, and
so the
yeah.
name Hopestock sounds really great because we've kind of said this is like if Woodstock and We Are the World had a baby, this is what it would look like. And so,
Hopestock, keep in touch with Kurt because
absolutely.
we're diving into that in January.
Okay.
We've already got big records, Rise Up TV, the Disability Channel, all involved in that.
Where is that located?
It's going to be in Makanda, Illinois at Forward Operating Base Rush.
Okay. That
That's
sounds
our first
wonderful.
facility.
Well, he is taking this on tour, so this is the first of many. But who knows what kind of things could happen from here. I do know that they tour in Illinois sometimes. So
Well,
I do have just a quick God story for you, a God veteran story, if you'd like to hear it.
okay.
And
Yeah.
uh, without names, I got a phone call from my mother, and she was kind of beside herself. Someone in the family was really he was having a hard time. He's a disabled veteran. He's functional, but he still has a lot of issues, and had just gotten a new job. And she said, "You need to call him right away. I can't help him. My mom's in California, I'm in Atlanta, and he's in Houston." So there's kind of the picture there. So I call him, and he had a head injury in the past, a pretty severe one that almost took him out, and he had a broken back. So, but he's anyway. I said, "Where are you?" And he was laying on his back in downtown Houston, and it was in the middle of the night. He didn't know where he was, and he was a little bit hammered, right? And I would say, "Well, what do you see around you?" "I don't know. I don't recognize anything. I can't get up." I didn't know if he had been hit. I didn't know if he was unconscious. So I said, I need to think about this for a minute, and I'll call you right back. And a friend of mine called that I was supposed to be doing a consultation with at that moment for my health practice. And I said, I'm not in the mental space right now to do this. Here's what's happening in my family. And he says, "Well, how can I help?" And I said, "Well, unless you have some kind of angel wings that provide disabled, drunk, divorcing veterans with some kind of help, that's what I need right now." I said, this person is laying on a sidewalk in downtown Atlanta, doesn't know where he is. He goes, "Well, my son has a ministry that does that." And I didn't really know this man. He got his son, and in the middle of the night, they drove around downtown Atlanta till they found him, put him in the car, and drove him home. And I am just incredibly grateful. And here's what I know: if you don't ask the questions, the answer is always no. And so the courage that it took for me just to open my mouth, nobody wants to air their dirty laundry. And at the same time, God was pushing me to say, ask for help, So I asked the first person who was on the phone, and then I kept him on the phone until they got there. And it was just phenomenal way to watch God work, where it seemed like there was just, I'm 1,000 miles away. So anyway, I want to share that. It was very powerful.
Yeah, again, this just proves my point. God is great. Okay. Yeah, this is, yeah, there's God stories left, right, and sideways. In fact, bring him in. He's finally here.
Our chaplain has arrived and has been listening.
Okay.
So, Chaplain Dave, come on in. I know I saw you in the background, excited when, when she was talking.
So, Darlene, first of all, first and foremost, let me put this out there. I need to thank everyone for all of the prayers and support that you guys have shown me over the last 20 some odd days. Brian didn't deploy me, but I was, for the last 20 some days, I was out with FEMA down in the belly of the beast of Helene and Milton and all that. So when you were talking about what's going on in Western North Carolina and South Carolina, and yeah, I was shocked to see, actually, and invigorated as to see what this storm and the hurricanes did for humanity, brother helping brother, neighbor helping neighbor, because it brought a new conviction for me to see what this country can do when things go bad. Even in the worst of times, people were coming up to me and my team and the other workers that were down there hey, can we buy you lunch? Can we get you coffee? I'm like, no, we're here to help you. And don't give us, we don't need anything. We're here. You literally lost everything. Your house just went that way on the river but you're out here asking if you can buy me something. So I literally got my faith back in humanity as seeing people coming out of the woodwork who just lost everything, picking up and helping the guy next door who was, destitute. And I'm like, why does it take something like this to get back to where we need to be on an everyday basis?
Well, brother, that rolls into our conversation.
Right. And I was backstage and I'm listening to Marlene and I'm like, Sue was cracking up because I'm back here just losing my mind, like, get me in, get me in.
Why is it that, look, I'm going to call it.
I know.
16 veterans that were affected that I know of personally, I had to turn away from our mission.
Brian, we talked while I was on. I know we had the conversation. I literally was. We talked while I was down there, and
this is.
Yeah.
So actually, we didn't explain what that means because Darlene, I don't think understands yet. We haven't shared why is it that we had to turn people away?
Because forward operating base rush is not operational.
So we have a building, we have the land, we have to finish the remodeling. There's a lot. The kitchen's open, the education space is open. There's a lot of it ready to go, but we can't bring people in. We can't
bring in residents. We can't bring in residents yet.
We're waiting on
permits. We need to get your mission out there.
Right.
Bingo.
Again, Darlene, this is all I ask of anybody is share our mission. Tell them.
God has great things in store, and sometimes it doesn't show up the way you think it's going to show up, but it is always better than you imagined that it would be. And the timing, God's seldom early, but he's never late, right? That's kind of.
Oh, yeah.
It's never our time, it's his time. And
right.
I mean,
and sometimes he'll change things up a little bit. I was invited to speak at a church in Virginia with a friend. She was the speaker, and she asked me to come along and do something for a women's retreat. And I thought I was going to talk about health and wellness because that's, over 40 years, been doing that. And right before I got up to the microphone, God said, "You're not talking about that." And I said, "Oh, yeah, I am. These are my notes. This is what He's like, "Nope, you're going to talk about something else. When you open your mouth, you'll know what it is." And I got up there and I said, "We're going to talk about healing, guilt and shame from the 4 A's that women never talk about in church. And that's abuse, addiction, adultery, and abortion." I'm thinking that came out of my mouth. Like I wasn't ready. It makes you ready. So whatever's in store for this project you have, I'm excited to see. And I'm excited to help you do that.
I mean, what you just said is literally, Brian and Sue have heard my story, and I'm not going to go into a large detail about this, but literally when I got the calling to get back into doing this, I've done youth ministry for years, and that's what I thought my calling was to go back into. And so being a vet myself, and when I got the calling to go back into this type of work, it was literally the day after I got my diagnosis of PTSD and anxiety and depression. So I got, I'm laying in bed and God gives me the calling that, I want you back in ministry. And I'm like, okay, well, I've done youth ministry before. Cool. I said I'd often done that before. Literally God's like,
yeah,
that season's done for you. And I'm like, okay. He's like, I want you working with your people. And I looked, I'm wide awake. I'm like, my people? And he's like, I want you working with veterans. And I'm literally trying to wrap my head around the fact that I knew it was there, but I never had to deal with it because I got real good of compartmentalizing and pushing it away. And I'm like, you want me to do what with what I'm going through now? So yeah, the fact that, you're about to go speak and you've got your notes all set out. And I'm like, I can relate completely with that scenario. I'm like, excuse me, what? No, I am so, this is not in my wheelhouse. This is not my comfort zone here. Talk about flipping the script on you. I can relate with that 100%.
Yeah, I told her, I said, I feel completely unqualified to get up there and talk to these women because my friend's been a minister for a long time. And I said, I've got kind of I've got a whole different, my sister ran away from home to be a nun. I grew up hanging out on Sunset Boulevard. We have very different lives. And she says, that's what qualifies you immensely to talk to these women. And you just talk from the heart and talk from your experience and just go for it. And there's no negotiating with God when he tells you to do it. So, you got to do it.
When I get the opportunity to go speak and tell my story, how God saved my life when I had a 45 in my mouth, right? And everything I've learned since then, okay? Everything I've done in my life, the multiple combat tours. I was a combat medic. So you can't even imagine what I've seen. You can't, not even on your worst day. And I don't invite anybody to try, right? Everything I had to go through, I know now why I do what I do. And God went, this is what you're going to do. Okay? The same thing. This 20 acres and 10,000 square foot building was donated. If that's not a God thing, I don't know what is.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the way me and Brian came together was completely by mistake. Let me rephrase that. The way me and Brian came together was completely a God thing because it was literally, I reached out and said, hey, I'm thinking of starting a nonprofit. Can you tell me a little bit about, how you got started? 45 minutes later, he's like, hey, I've got a position on my team that's open. 3 days later, we're in a 2-hour conversation and here we are.
Right.
Again, I just put information out. Dave, he reached out because I've known, look, if you want to know how to start a nonprofit, I'll tell you everything I've done wrong.
People need to know that because they can't figure it out.
Yeah, that is, look, I'll tell you everything that I've done wrong. That's just that simple.
It's very interesting that I'm on this call and you work with PTSD. That's one of the main focuses. That's why I worked a veterans event all day Saturday here near about a half hour from my home. It's a veterans rally point where they deal with homeless veterans that live in the woods. And anyway, I worked that event because I don't turn anybody away, which is a really poor business model because if they don't have any money, I don't send anybody away. And so somebody asked me if I was a non-for-profit and I said, well, not on purpose, but it just works out that way. And but anyway, I work a lot with veterans with PTSD and it's very rewarding. And I have things in my toolbox that they're not normally exposed to that give them a little sense of being in control of their own treatment so that, I'm not taking the place of any medical or any therapy or any of those things. It's just something additional that doesn't cause any harm. And so I really enjoy getting out there and talking with the guys or the women, right? Men and women. And it's just so rewarding. So here we are, it's just, God doesn't make mistakes.
No, absolutely. And I know we were talking about, we got into Hope Stock, and Brian, I haven't even dropped this on you. We have an MC for Hope Stock.
Praise God. Hey.
I talked to a brother of mine, and I mentioned this to you before. He's like, yeah, I'm in. He's on the calendar. He's like, just let me know, plug me in. We'll talk more about it. But yeah, I'm in.
Sweetness. You see, this is how it works.
Right.
I sit back every morning. I spend time with my Lord, and I go, okay, what's up? And I go, okay, like this property we got. For years, people have been telling me, oh, you need to do it this way. You need to do it this way. You got to do it this way. And I'm like, why? Because that's how everybody does it. Yeah, no.
We're not everybody.
We're not everybody. Okay. When we first got the land, I had a person, very well-to-do person, approach and say, I will give you $2 million. But you have to remove God from the mission.
Well, you're going to get the devil's offer, and then you're going to get the best offer, God's offer.
Okay. It took 2 years to find Dave. That was prayer every morning, because my person that had his position, right, when I said I turned that down, you didn't even ask us. Why would I? That's a no-brainer. Why would I, right? I'm holding nothing ill towards my brother. We talked a little bit today, called, wish me a happy birthday. Great. But
It's your birthday?
yeah.
Happy birthday.
Bring a little sparkle for you here.
Oh, look at that.
It's a party.
It is.
Hey, every day we wake up is a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, my wife spoiled me because she actually got a German chocolate cake for me.
Oh,
My favorite.
Oh, I've spent many years over in Europe. That German chocolate is,
yeah.
I couldn't find a good one locally, so I had to learn how to make it myself. So.
Well, I just got back off the 21-day FEMA diet, so I had to go buy all new uniforms.
Yeah. I stayed in a FEMA trailer during Katrina, so I completely understand the FEMA diet.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, we have Kurt.
I was going to say, aren't we missing a fifth here somewhere?
Yeah, somewhere.
In.
But you guys are doing so great. I'm going to actually bow out and I'm going to go get my cake.
I think that's allowed.
Yeah, I think you're allowed to do that.
Well,
I gotta say though, at this point, I think my count is up to 4 different times now where I've had goosebumps during this conversation, just with all the wonderful things that have been brought together here. So I am grateful you guys are all here, and Brian, what a great way to celebrate your birthday.
Absolutely.
So glad you're here with us too. And oh, you know what? Let me share this real quick. There was a birthday shout out going on
there
on the chat.
Is.
So gotta include that. And you know what? There he is, Kurt. I'm gonna go ahead and bring you in. Brian's on his way up, but I thought maybe you want to get a chance to say hi quick before he goes.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to the president of Project I Hired, Brian Gibson. Happy birthday to you. This day's for you, all for you. This show is dedicated to you.
No.
Way to go, you.
All right.
Get it in.
Okay. One more thing I want to say before I found out. Everybody that knows me, did you see me put anything on Facebook for my birthday? Ooh, give to Project Die Hard?
Nope.
Nope. But I'm just going to reiterate it. 97 more people giving $22 a month covers our current operating expenses. Before I leave, brothers and sisters, don't give up because we're in the fight. We're not going to quit.
Nope.
So don't give up. Team, take it from here because I'm going to go eat some cake.
Go enjoy it, Brian.
There you
This has
go.
been
He can
wonderful,
have his
Kurt.
cake and eat it too.
Absolutely.
So I know, Kurt, you're coming on in here. We appreciate that you brought Darlene to us. I wonder if you want to take just a moment and share a little bit about your connection. And I know, Dave, we haven't heard a whole lot yet about your escapades. So I wonder if we can, Kurt, go ahead and just share a couple words since you're just coming in. But Dave, I would like to get some highlights from you if you wouldn't mind before we're all done as well.
Not
So
a problem.
Kurt, I'll pass to you first.
All right. So I'm going to start with, one of our friends that, is doing great work around the world. He got, recognized by the United Nations for his work in spreading happiness around the world. Edwin Edeberry out of Sacramento, California. I found out about his work August 2020. And if it weren't for him, I would not be on this call. So that's the way these stories go. The power of one, and how somebody like that can interview 1,000 people about happiness and, just really attract through this social mission work, social enterprising. And he had me at hello, and I found out about his work and, I went all in. And so Darlene also, has built a friendship and connection. And, so Edwin is in her network as well. And they've been talking recently again. And, so we're really rocking and rolling here for sure in some pretty phenomenal circles. I like to talk about as well Barry Shore, our ambassador of joy. And he's at barryshore.com. Check it out. Spread out some smile cards from barryshore.com. So when Darlene last week is catching me up to this event that you guys were all talking about and about the people involved, the people that I come to learn about are on the board of directors, the people for, a new America, and just, this whole thing of unity, peace, and freedom. And, I've been out and around the last 4 years talking about, returning to the days of the hippies and everything and all the virtues, happiness, peace, love, and joy. And, just all this stuff that, has really in a geyser fashion shot up. And, we're really returning to that. I was in a meeting today where we're talking about, billions of dollars. We're talking about what we're going to be doing in the next few years, emerging what this all is to the tune of billions of dollars. So we definitely are working with some dreamers, some impassioned people, heart-centered workers, and people getting the job done. Today, Sue and I were on a call with Brian, and he talked about the bluff. And I talked to Darlene a little bit about that call we had today too. That bluff, bottom line up front. So that is how this is going. This stuff is coming so fast that it is really challenging me to practice that art, to give Darlene the bottom line up front, to give Dave the bottom line up front, to more in, all the time I've spent with Sue, to get better at giving Sue the bottom line up front. Bluff. And, that's even going out on, infographics coming out from Brian and, work with our team here. So again, Darlene, again, changing the directory of my life and just really seeing something that for everything I stand for, you're talking about birthdays. My birthday is November 30th, and I'm not bashful to put it on there. Hey, for my
November
birthday,
30th?
What's
That's
that?
my birthday.
No way, Darlene.
Yes.
We're birthday buds? Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you can't make this up, folks. Truth is stranger than fiction.
November 30th. It's a magical day.
Boy,
in
we
the
got this
neighborhood. Yep.
serious energy all up in here, big time. Wow. Saturday, November 30th, it's going to be a cosmic and comical birthday bash, at least on my side. So, Darlene, we'll see what your flavor is, but I'm sure it's going to be sweet and juicy. So let's do it.
Yeah.
But
wow, this is funny.
So
I think I've had a lot more birthdays than you, but yeah, I was born in the 60s.
Well, I'm coming up to my I'm coming up to my 53rd. So God willing, that I make it to 53, in 5 weeks here. So I'm pouring it on. I tell people. Yeah, I'm telling people if I'm going to breathe this. Yeah, I tell people if I'm going to breathe this oxygen, I'm going to put it to good use. And I'll tell you what, this week is a week like we're on nitric oxide, folks. Is that the laughing gas stuff, Sue? Is that what you always tell me?
No, that's what I always tell you.
It's nitrous oxide. Nitric oxide builds the oxygen in your blood, like your heart rate, and it's good for your circulation.
Yeah. So we're really getting into the heart rhythms here, the rhythm and the beat and the beat and the drum of, hey, everybody, let's save our veterans. And, the veteran committee over there, People for a New America. And, so we've got that event this Saturday. And I'm also working on a November 16th event, benefiting Project Die Hard by an artist. And I'm actually working on pulling up some graphics of that.
Unfortunately, I don't have it handier, but I've got that.
Oh, wow.
So my apologies for the rough way of viewing this, but it gives you at least the idea. And you know what? I know we are running up against the clock here pretty quickly. I was going to give the floor back to Chaplain Dave, and we have a surprise guest in the background yet. So I wonder if we should go ahead and bring him in for a quick hello.
Bring him in, because I think I know who it is.
Well, it's the one, the only Santa Papa John in the house. So how are you doing?
Oh, kids, how are we doing? I just caught you singing happy birthday to Brian. I'm going to have to send him a message that I missed that. And, I hope everybody's had a roaring day. It was a wonderful weekend with a few minor bumps in the road. But, that's what you do to support family. You got to make sure the bumps in the road get smoothed out. But I have not met Darlene, I don't think, before. Hi, I'm Santa. Hi, Darlene. How are you?
Hi, I'm fabulous. Always great to meet Santa. That sounds wonderful.
There you go. So
Project Die Hard officially is Santa approved.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
And we're going to have some watch parties of the movie Elf, because when Santa comes on, we're not doing it right. We got to be like Buddy the Elf, like, it's Santa!
I know him.
How about leaving in the waiting room for about 8 minutes too? Not
that's
names.
That's because one of your helpers had a little bit of a biological issue of just constant vibration of the mouth, for too long.
Oh, is that what it is? Yes. I think the big topic, Sue, was somebody's birthday, and he was excited to talk about all the plans and excitement he's got for his birthday on November the 30th. And as it turned out, Darlene's birthday is November the 30th as well. So see, I wasn't paying attention while I was sitting in that waiting room, for someone to, ramble off at the mouth. How's Mr. Dave doing today?
I'm doing great. Like I said, 21 days in the back of an ambulance was a little bit too long for me, but I'm blessed to be back here.
I'm very proud that you did that, but mentally and physically, it probably strained at you very seriously.
Well, it was for a good cause, and there's a reason we do what we do. So
absolutely, and prayers to those people in Eastern Georgia and Tennessee that they are putting up with, unfortunately, a lot of crap that they don't deserve or they don't need, and hopefully that some of the prayers will start being answered, and at least they can get their feet settled on what ground is left below them.
Yeah, that's not mud.
No, it's a pretty ugly situation. So, but we'll hope for the best, and hopefully they can start getting the help that they need.
We tried to do what we could for them as much as possible, and it's going to be one step at a time and one day at a time.
And they're not going to be big steps at all. They're going to be little steps, and there's going to be lots of prayers going on every day and every night.
Absolutely.
And hopefully that this country can come together and give them the support that they need.
Well, I did see that, it's baby steps at this time, but they are working towards getting back on their feet. It's going to take time. It's not going to be a next week, next month. It's going to be a long process, but from what I saw while I was down there, neighbor is helping neighbor, brother is helping brother. It's going to come together.
Yep. And that's good. That's good. And I'm sure you've seen some things that you have to take a deep breath, because there was some things down there that you probably don't believe actually was going down. But, we will, it's amazing how the human has the idea of what survival means.
Yeah. I can literally say I have seen God move mountains, literally.
Yeah.
Terrain features are no longer terrain features. I have seen human beings in probably their worst situations turn out to be the most generous, the most giving, the most compassionate individuals of their lives, literally after they've literally seen their whole lives washed away.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're just amazed at how you look at the power of Mother Nature and what God can do, and then you look at how it can bring communities and humanity together to restore what you would think would just be the worst day in a human being's life. And they're just thankful to comfort and help out their neighbor. It blew me away, and at times brought me to tears just looking at these individuals that literally their whole lives have been turned upside down, and they're ankles deep, waist deep in mud and dirt, and they're digging out their neighbors, or helping them get food or water or get the electricity back up, and they're thanking us, and hey, what do you need to eat? It blew me away.
Yeah. The resilience and the power of the human brain and the body to move forward from a situation that should have been
Complete and utter devastation. Yeah.
And yet they're proud. They're moving forward. They're seeing a distant light in a tunnel that gives them hope that they continue to move forward every day, step by step.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. Well, thank you for going down there.
It was, yeah.
And hope is what we all are about here with Project Die Hard, bringing a hope to veterans. And I know we are always traditionally ending our programming here with each of us giving a message of hope of some sort to our veterans. So I wonder if we could just do a quick around the room here to share that message of hope. So actually, Chaplain Dave, I think I'm going to start with you tonight.
Like I said, I'm blessed to be back. I would just say, in general, if you ever feel like your halo is tilted, you're at wit's end, you're, walking alone, you're not. God is always there. God is always gracious. God's always got you. Reach out. I promise. Kurt's put it out there. I've put it out there. Brian's put it out there. Papa John's put it out there. We're here for you. Reach out. We got you. I don't care what time my phone rings. My phone is always on. Call. We're here. I don't care if it's 3 a.m. in the morning and you need to talk for 6 hours. Talk my ear off. I don't care. I will do whatever I have to do to get you whatever help I can get for you. And I think I speak for everybody on our team. We will do whatever it takes within our power to get you where you need to be with whatever resources we have. Don't give up. We're in the fight with you. On your darkest day, call on us. We'll fight the battle with you.
Excellent. Thank you. And actually, Santa, Papa John, how about you? You get the next word.
I get the next word. Well, pay attention, folks. I've got some big announcements coming up this week for my list. My list has some serious light underneath it that is going up. And what is the list? The Warriors Beacon of Hope. And I am compiling a list that's going to be hopefully nationwide to provide services to our veterans that they can find in all 50 states. But I've got some big announcements that I'm getting pretty excited for that's going to, open up some eyeballs and give our veterans another list to go to say that there are other avenues, other venues, other groups, associations, whatever you term to use, that there will be other people out there that will be able to help, that will able to assist, to listen, whatever adjective we throw on here. We want to help the veterans. We want to give them more resources that they can utilize to take the step out of the ugly that they may be in at the time.
Excellent. Well, looking forward to hearing more on that. So glad you're with us always. And Darlene, I'm going to pass the mic over to you next. A message of hope for our veterans.
It's really hard to follow those guys, but if I could say anything, not as a veteran, but as someone who cares very deeply about the veterans and coming from a veteran family and watching a lot of the issues that they face firsthand, you know, I don't think we can say it enough, that never give up, because people love you, people have help for you, and just because you haven't found the help you need yet, you just got to try one more time, just one more time, and then God will make a way for that, for the answers to show up. And so, I tell myself, and I've told others, whatever challenges we're facing, we can do anything for one more minute. And if we have to say that every minute of every day until we, gain the strength to keep going, but one more, 60 seconds, we can do anything for 60 more seconds. And sometimes you just have to keep adding those together. But hope is out there, help is out there. Just hang on, and you can find us, you can find the people that you need, and hope is available for you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Kurt, over to you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to come in here and I'm going to beg and plead to be given a chance, to let me do the old college try. I'm out here really with a big appetite to keep on learning, keep building my capacity to relate, keep taking in the life lessons about the veteran journey and the veteran experience. We're on here podcasting, live streaming. We obviously love to hear the stories of other people. And, so whatever this can amount to for you, I'm asking that, we can kind of come together on this and make, possibilities, beyond our wildest dreams. So I know it starts really small. It starts with addressing, issues at first and things that I know very forward I can't relate to. I hear about a lot, I learn about a lot, I can speak to it a lot, but it's the old thing, easier said than done. To say I relate to it or anything would be, so to look at the lived experience that you have, and we've got a lot of things in the works. We were talking today with some people who have a lot of in reaches to the entertainment and movie and TV production issue, a lot of prominent figures out there in the industry, and some great things are on the way, and they're already out there. This is just a little bit of in my journey. I'm working on getting a little closer to it so we can bring it back through here in this mission. And we're talking about projects that are estimated in a few years to amount to billions of dollars. That's billions with a B. And this is something that other people are all doing out there, but I'm getting out there and I'm furrowing out and I'm tap rooting and I'm doing everything in my 52 years so far, coming up on that 53 years, everything that I've got. I'm kind of that guy that's saying, I'm giving it all I've got, Kent. Will you do it with me?
Excellent. Thank you so much. What an amazing group tonight. This conversation has been a true pleasure. This past hour has flown. So I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. And yes, we're all about hope and bringing hope to our veterans and looking, my personal piece, go silly once in a while. We got balloons. It's time to party. It's time to look for the good, look for the fun, make things fun. I know sometimes it's hard to do that. We all have those times where it's tough because there's life is hard, right? But you know what? That's what friends are for. That's what resources are for. We're here. We're here for you. So keep looking for the good. And we are here. And really, we are here literally every Monday night with Project DieHard's Mission Monday update. We are here every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Central. We look forward to having you join us again next week. We will be here. We hope you are too. So until next time,